Once upon a time, in a grand kingdom ruled by a vain and self-absorbed emperor, there was a peculiar tale that spread like wildfire through the streets and marketplaces. The emperor, known for his extravagant tastes and obsession with fashion, spent an inordinate amount of time and money on his wardrobe. He believed that nothing was more important than appearing magnificent in the eyes of his subjects. His vanity was so profound that he would often neglect the affairs of the state, preferring to parade around in his latest attire rather than engage with the pressing issues of his realm. One day, two cunning swindlers arrived in the kingdom, claiming to be master weavers who could create the most exquisite fabric imaginable. They boasted that their cloth was not only stunning in appearance, but also possessed a unique quality. Only the wisest and most competent individuals could see it. Those who were foolish or unfit for their positions would see nothing at all. The emperor, intrigued by the idea of wearing such a remarkable garment, summoned the weavers to his palace. The swindlers, aware of the emperor's vanity, set to work pretending to weave the invisible fabric. Day after day, they sat at their looms, making grand gestures and exclaiming about the beauty of the material they were supposedly creating. They filled the air with the sound of clinking tools and the chatter of creativity, while in reality, there was nothing at all on their looms. The emperor, eager to see the fabric, sent his most trusted advisors to inspect the work. The advisors, fearing they would appear foolish if they admitted they saw nothing, proclaimed the cloth to be the most remarkable they had ever seen. Praising its beauty and quality, word of the magical fabric spread throughout the kingdom, and soon everyone was talking about it. The emperor, emboldened by the praise of his advisors, decided he must have a suit made from this extraordinary cloth. He imagined himself parading through the streets, adorned in garments that only the wise could appreciate, and he could hardly contain his excitement. The swindlers, seeing their scheme come to fruition, crafted an elaborate suit that, in truth, was nothing more than the air around them. Finally, the day of the grand unveiling arrived. The emperor, dressed in his invisible garments, marched through the city, his head held high and a proud smile plastered across his face. The townspeople lined the streets, eager to catch a glimpse of their ruler in his magnificent new clothes. As the emperor walked past, the crowd erupted in applause and admiration, each person echoing the praises they had heard from others. No one dared to admit that they could see nothing, fearing they would be deemed unworthy or foolish. Yet, amid the cheers and the adulation, a small child stood at the edge of the crowd, his eyes wide with innocence and curiosity. As the emperor strutted past, the boy's brow furrowed in confusion. He tugged at his mother's sleeve, pointing toward the emperor with a voice that rang out clear and true. "But he isn't wearing anything at all." The words hung in the air, cutting through the facade like a knife. For a brief moment, silence enveloped the crowd. The emperor, taken aback, felt a flush of embarrassment creep over him. The townspeople exchanged nervous glances, their earlier cheers dissolving into whispers of disbelief. In that instant, the power of honesty became palpable. The child, untainted by fear of judgment or societal expectations, had spoken the truth that everyone else had been too afraid to voice. The emperor, realizing the absurdity of his situation, felt the weight of his vanity crash down upon him. He was not adorned in the finest of garments. He was exposed. Stripped of the illusions he had woven around himself, the truth, though uncomfortable, had liberated not only the child, but the entire crowd from the chains of deception. As the emperor paused, a ripple of realization swept through the townspeople. They began to murmur among themselves, echoing the boy's sentiment. One by one, they admitted what they had seen, or rather, what they had not seen. The collective acknowledgement of the truth was a powerful force, shattering the illusion that had held them captive. The emperor, now aware of his foolishness, felt a deep sense of humility wash over him. He understood that his obsession with appearances had blinded him to the reality of his own shortcomings. In the days that followed, the kingdom began to change. The emperor, humbled by the experience, sought to engage more earnestly with his subjects. He listened to their concerns, prioritizing the needs of the kingdom over his vanity. The townspeople, inspired by the courage of the child, began to speak more openly with one another. They shared their thoughts and feelings without fear, fostering a community built on honesty and trust. The tale of the emperor's new clothes became a parable, a lesson passed down through generations. It served as a reminder of the importance of speaking the truth, even when it may be uncomfortable or unpopular. The child's innocent proclamation had not only revealed the emperor's folly, but had also ignited a transformation within the kingdom. People learned to value honesty over pretense, understanding that true strength lies in the ability to confront uncomfortable truths. In a world where appearances often overshadow substance, the story of the emperor and his invisible clothes became a beacon of integrity. It taught that while it may be tempting to conform to the expectations of others, the courage to speak the truth can lead to profound change. The kingdom flourished under the new ethos, where honesty was cherished and the voices of the people were valued. And so, the legacy of that day lived on, a testament to the power of truth and the importance of embracing reality, no matter how uncomfortable it may be.